Good evening, class. My name is Rachel Bach, and today I am going to teach a lesson on comparing numbers. And my imaginary class is made up of 12 students. And for the comparing numbers, I found this in first grade. And the standard is compare two-digit numbers based on meanings of the tens and ones digits, recording the results of comparisons with the symbols greater than, equal, or less than. I would have an overhead projector, and I will place the two numbers to represent 3 and 4, to represent 34. And I would also use 10 rods, so I would place 3 10 rods and 4 ones blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Students, what number is this number? Pointing to the number, and I would wait for the responses, and hopefully they would say 34. Now I use some 10s blocks and 1s blocks, 10 rods and 1s blocks to represent the number 34. Did I model the number correctly? I will wait again for the students' responses. Today, students, we're going to learn how to model two-digit numbers using 10 rods and 1s blocks. We are also going to take two numbers and compare them, and we're going to use the help of someone named Gavin the Gator to help us compare our numbers and figure out which number is bigger, smaller, or if the numbers are equal. So now, who is ready to meet Gavin the Gator? All right, Gavin the Gator is a book that I have on Amazon. I have it on my Kindle. I would also like to have a hard copy of that for this lesson. If there was a way to put my Kindle up on the overhead or on the Mimeo, somehow I would do that, probably without a hardcover book. Gavin the Gator by Kathleen Stone. There's a picture of Gavin the Gator right there. Gavin the Gator loves to spend his days swimming in a muddy swamp, looking for ways to fill his empty tummy. He's as hungry as can be, but being a picky eater, he won't eat just anything he happens to see. It's a nice picture of Gavin the Gator. Snakes, fish, birds, and frogs would all make a tasty treat, but he passes them all by. Numbers are all he wants to eat. Okay, Gavin. He looks hungry. Swimming through the swamp, he's a skilled navigator and only makes a meal of the numbers that are greater. The first example in the book is 59 and 23. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to first use my number cards and model 59. Actually, back up here. I actually have an island pad and these numbers here, and they came from the NCTM website. This is a really great website with lots of great activities. So I'm going to first start with 59. So I take my 5 and my 9 number cards, and I'm also going to have the students do this as well. And we're going to explain that, I would explain that each one of these 10 rods, I will ask how much they're worth, and that they can individually count the squares, and that each one of these is worth 10. So we're going to use 5 of these. We're going to count by to get 50. 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. And that each one of these single blocks is worth 1, and we're going to need 9 of them. So we have 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, and 59. Now mind you, while I'm doing this on the overhead, the students each have their own, so they will also be doing this. Now the other number I will ask is, what was the other number that Gavin was thinking about eating? And it is 23. So again, we're going to use the 2 and the 3, and we're going to use 2 10 rods, 10, 20, and 21, 22, and 23. So now let's read on. Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, Gavin finds two numbers, 23 and 59. And I want you, class, to notice Gavin's mouth. Does anybody know anything, see anything interesting about Gavin's mouth? Yeah, his mouth is open to the bigger number. And how do we know the numbers are bigger? Well, let's take a look at our pad here on our desk. We have, which number is bigger? Which number has more things on them? Yeah, the 59 does. Okay? So, let's read on and see what happens. With a twinkle in his eye and a smile of glee, Gavin gobbles 59 because 59 is greater than 23. Now, students, you're going to learn how to use symbols to show that one number is bigger than the other, or smaller than the other, or if they're both equal. The first symbol looks like this. Kind of looks like Gavin's mouth here. See the opening? Okay. And this is greater than. And this symbol here with the point pointing the other way is a symbol that represents less than. And these two lines right here is the symbol for equal to. So who can remember back which way was Gavin's mouth pointing? If we look here, his mouth was open to the 59. So let's take our greater than symbol and let's have it open to the 59. All right, so now we need to clear our boards for the next numbers that Gavin's gonna look at eating. Now I'll have the students clear their boards. Again, I'm going to be using the overhead projector and the Gavin book to model the next set of numbers. Oh, it looks like 74 and 62. So let's model 74, then let's model 62. So we're going to take a 7 and a 4 from our pile, and we're going to take a 6 and a 2 from our other pile and put it on the other side. And again, this will be on the overhead projector, so the students will be following along. We will have, how many 10 rods will we need to model 70? Yes, you're right. It's going to be 7. 1. So we'll count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And if you got to squish them to kind of fit on your island pad. And how many ones blocks are we going to need to represent 4? Right, 4. So we have 70, 71, 72, 73, and 74. Let's try to just squish those to fit on the pad here. And now, let's model 62. And unfortunately, I am out of 10 rods, so I cannot model 62, but I would have enough there, so let's just pretend I do. So it'd be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and we're going to need 2 1 blocks, 1 and 2, so that is my 62. All right, let's continue on with Gavin the Gator. Gliding through the swamp in an early morning fog, Gavin spies 2 numbers resting on a log. Oh, 74 and 62. Look at where Gavin's mouth is pointing to again. His mouth is open to which number? Yeah, number 74. What do we call that symbol again with the opening pointing to the bigger number? Who can remember? Yeah, greater than. So let's grab our greater than symbol Let's put it on our island pad to separate the two numbers. And we're showing that 74 is bigger than 62. Which will make a tasty breakfast smack, snap, chew. In an instant, 74 is gone because 74 is greater than 62. Now, this book goes on with several different numbers, and I would just keep on modeling those numbers with the students. I will ask along the way if there's any that are getting the responses wrong. I'd be walking around and I would help them model the numbers. At the end, I'm going to ask for the assessments to give me a thumbs up, thumbs sideways, thumbs down if they feel that they have an understanding of that. Another assessment that I would use is that they're going to reflect in their journals, and they would answer questions with that in their reflection journals. And that is how I would teach a lesson to first graders on comparing numbers using greater than, less than, or equal. Thank you, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. Good night.